been fighting for it all your life. You've been struggling to make things right. That's how a superhero learns to
G'day, it's James Greenshields. A lot of people are commenting negatively about young people, their level of respect and their motivation, etc. Well, I witnessed something on the weekend where I view this situation from a different point of view, and that is I currently believe elders have stepped down. In other words, older people have stepped down being elders. I was at a basketball game for my nephew who's 11, and two teams were playing. The opposition team had a young coach, would have been about 17, 18. Now, he obviously knew what he was talking about just because of the way he was instructing, but he was going off like a frog in a sock. He was yelling and he was getting really irate at the young 11-year-olds who weren't doing what he was saying. And he was just looking around everywhere, shouting, etc. The thing was, he was feeling not heard. And I watched all the parents look around, including the parents of the kids sitting over and listening to this, and I watched the officials. No one went up to him at any stage, including after the game, to have a chat. And so I was a fly-in. I'd just flown in for the weekend, seeing my nephew. I went up and I said, "G'day mate, how are you?" in front of his parents, and I said, "Can I make a suggestion about your coaching?" And he said yes. He turned and faced me, and I said, "How do you reckon you went?" And he's gone, "Well, yeah, no, I was good." And I said, "Do you feel you were listened to?" And he says, "Yeah." And he put on this false bravado, and he said he was, with a few other things. So that needed to stop. And so I called him on it, and I said, "Mate, from what I saw young guys looking everywhere but to you. And to me, that indicates you weren't being listened to at all." And he acknowledged. Now, he was taken aback for two reasons. One, his false bravado had just been cut through, and two, he hadn't looked at it like that. And I said to him, "Mate, by the sounds of what you were telling these young guys, you know what you're talking about. You've got a lot of talent to give them. And isn't it a shame that you can't necessarily get it through as well as you'd want?" And he agreed. And I said, "Take yourself back to being 11. How would you feel if you were being yelled at all the time?" And he said, "My shutters would go down. You know, those lights just turn off in the back of my head. How do you think these guys feel?" And he got it. To his credit, he got it. And I said, "So what can you do?" And he says, "Well, focus on the positives." And I said, "What happens to the negatives if you focus on the positives?" And he said, "Well, generally they drop away." I said, "Take that away. Does that help?" And he says, "Yes, thank you." And his dad turns to me and says, "Thank you." No one else had taken the time to invest in this young guy. It took me all of 2 minutes to have that conversation, yet everyone else was sitting around putting their hands under their bums and just allowing abuse, verbal abuse, to go on when people are meant to be having fun. This is what's happening in society. People are sitting down when they should be standing up. We need elders. If our young generation is to be given what they need to go on and do great things in this world, we need to invest time and resources. And the biggest resource we need to give is our love, but also our time and our guidance in appropriate, fostering way. Guys, you're natural leaders and elders. Stand up. Let's take it to the young generation and help them. Don't sit on your bloody hands. Get involved. And remember, if you're hurting inside, put your hand up. Cheers.
Heart of steel starts to grow when you've been fighting for it all